Everybody has something that they don't fully trust that God has their back on.
Right.
Everybody.
Right.
I mean, I'll throw it out there. Finances, I stress about finances all the time.
Right. Once I do, my iPad's still loading.
It's still, we're live.
We're live.
We're live. This is it. This is about to happen.
Dude.
This is, actually, it's not about to happen. It's currently happening.
It's currently happening.
It's currently happening.
Well, while my stupid tablet...
Well, that's why you have to go with an iPad, like this bad boy.
No.
Yeah.
Dude, I had my freaking tablet charging for 9 hours today, and it only got to 52%.
That's terrible.
It's awful.
That is awful.
Did you read all of your chapters?
No. I listened to
all of them. It still counts as reading.
I listened to 3/4 of them. I think I have like one chapter I didn't get to because I ran out of time today.
One chapter.
One chapter. Well,
so catching up, we are doing a 52-week Bible study, kind of a men's pointed Bible study, reading the whole Bible in a year. So that's pretty cool. And we just read Genesis 1 through 23. So basically the premise is we meet once a week on Wednesdays. And
hey, guess what?
What?
Today's Wednesday.
Today is Wednesday. And we're supposed to read between, 3 chapters a day and, till... Where the crap is my freaking files, dude?
Oh, Brandon's losing his mind. Would you take notes?
Dude, I'm trying to find them.
Did you take notes?
Kind of.
That's impressive. I definitely 110% did not take notes.
Dude, I'm trying to find
Excuse
them.
me.
There it is. Got it.
Oh, you were looking for the app that said notes.
Yeah. Oh, it did not transfer from my phone to my tablet. That's fantastic.
Samsung, everybody.
Anyways, I'll pull it up.
Yeah, so we're pretty
no,
much
it's right here.
We're
Oh,
pretty
just
much we've been tasked with reading, sections every day. So Genesis 1 through 3, Genesis 4 through 7, Genesis 8 through 11, Genesis 12 through 15. These are full chapters, not verses. Genesis 16 through 19, and then Genesis 20 through 23.
Yes. So
Lots of reading,
yeah, for sure.
which I hate reading, but that's okay. It's the Bible. We'll say we love reading.
Well, you better love reading the Bible, dude.
We love the Lord. So, just to sum up what this podcast is going to be kind of starting around and going towards, I guess, is we definitely want to spread God's word, but we want to do it in our own way.
Yeah.
And I think this might be the way. We don't want to do something that everybody does out there, but we don't want to do something boring.
Yeah.
Correct?
Gosh, dang it.
What are you doing right now?
I'm connecting my hotspot to my tablet so I can get my notes on my tablet because I am not prepared.
Raw footage. Yeah, so we just want to spread God's word, but we want to do it in a fun way that is entertaining and helps keep the attention of people. And
Right.
we should have left a window open in here because it is
baking in here right now.
It is baking in here.
It's hot.
There's a window behind you.
That's too far.
Like, Brandon,
That's too far.
But yeah, I mean, that's really the goal, is to spread God's word, but have fun in the same way. And we're not opposed to getting people in the future to come on and just hear about their story. And really, we're just going to have a good time and have a discussion and then dive right into God's word with you guys.
For sure. We just want to spread the gospel for sure and do it in our own creative way. And just, really do it in a way that we find, really fun and enjoying, that I hope other people do. And yeah, there's a lot more talking in this one just because kind of getting used to things and how things are going, so it will get better over time.
Hopefully it gets better because our camera setup right now is janky.
It's fine. Anyways, so we read Genesis chapter 1 through 23, and dude, is there any thoughts on what we read?
A lot.
Dude, a lot happened.
A lot happened.
A lot happened.
There's lots of different Bible stories that we technically went through.
Right.
I mean, we hit, God creating the earth, to Cain and Abel, to,
Abraham
and sons and daughters and lots of people.
and then Abraham sacrificing his son. So that was
And Isaac, yep, Isaac definitely toasted.
no.
He was going to be toasted, but God definitely put a stop to that. And corruption and the descendants of Adam, it's a big section, so we went through a lot.
And everyone lived to 900, so that was pretty cool.
Man, I hope I don't.
Oh, the flood, dude.
Man.
The flood.
Noah. I said that. Noah.
Oh, you did?
You had to save, one of each, two of each.
Yeah.
Male and female.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's kind of hard to say, like, everything stood out, because a lot happened.
Right.
And the good thing about Genesis is it's just kind of like getting your foot into the Bible world.
Right.
And it can be a very confusing book. It's kind of like Numbers. Numbers is a very confusing book.
Yeah, it's just giving a premise, what the Bible's about, how the world started.
So, like, if we just hop right into our study guide, I mean, the first question it's going to ask us is, one of the ways human beings reflect God is through our work. What are some thoughts that come to mind as you observe God's work in Genesis 1 and 2?
Man.
And how should they impact the way that we view and do our work?
It's, so obviously we have God, created the whole earth.
Yeah, that's 1 and 2. I mean,
That's
everything from the sea to the land to the creatures in it.
day and night, like,
Day and night light.
well, night was always there, and he created the
Day.
light.
Correct.
And, it was,
Excuse me.
yeah, he did a lot of work in that time span of, 6 days, and
Yeah. At the end, he was just like, break time.
done.
Yeah, it's done.
Nappy nap.
Nappy nap. Let's wrap this sucker up and move on.
Right.
But he definitely did it with, the best intentions.
Right. Well, he's
So-
Lord.
True.
But just like reflecting, I guess, on what he did in specifically 1 and 2 was just like the intentional, how intentional he was
True.
with everything, and how like how much he cared for things,
Correct.
and he did everything to basically the best the best possible outcome of everything, and everything everything had a purpose in what he made. So it's sorry, I would definitely say that it's definitely crazy and eye-opening to see that he made everything with a purpose. So everything you see or hear, smell, whatever, he made, but made for intention of whatever it was meant, eating, smelling, seeing, or whatever. Like the sunsets, just a really good example of the sunsets is he made those.
And sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
And I think what I really reflect, or what I reflect or see, and some of my thoughts that come to mind when you observe 1 and 2, it's kind of like God did all this work, and then he just took a break for a day. Like, I think that's
the sleeping really resonate with you?
sleeping really resonates with me, because it's not like that. It's just kind of like in daily life, especially in like the industry I work in, or my life period, is I have a hard time slowing down.
What do you do?
Well, I'm a fabricator here in Moran or in Tucson, or I guess I shouldn't say that. I'm a sign foreman in Tucson, and on the side, I'm a welder and a contractor on the side. But that's not only my only job. My other job is being a husband and a great father to my 10-month-old. So I guess it's hard to slow down sometimes because you just, with so many hobbies and side jobs and daily work from, 8 to 10 to 12 hours a day, there's like hard to slow down. And sometimes you just kind of got to like look back and just reflect of, if God can take a break after creating the whole earth in 7 days, why can't I take a break from, 1 day of the week and spend it with the family and just relax? And I think that a lot of people in today's society has a hard time slowing down because it just seems like everybody has a go, go, go attitude. And it's like sometimes you got to stop eventually.
Right.
And I think that's what comes to mind when I observe God's work in Genesis 1 and 2, which was a really good eye-opener this week because it's kind of like I've been going, and it's just kind of like, hey, slow down.
Right.
God didn't have to rush. He didn't rush those 7 days. He could have taken 3 days and had it all done.
Yeah.
But he planned it out through 7, so he didn't overwork himself probably, and then took that, or in 6, and then overworked him, and then took that 7th day to just relax.
I mean, he created like, 2 or 3 things a day.
Yeah, I mean, but that's a lot of work. I mean, 2 or 3 things like that massive?
Yeah, I guess it's kind of crazy.
That's like me trying to walk a mile. I mean, that's a hard task.
I don't think that ever happened, though.
Yeah, probably
I don't
not.
think that was ever documented. If it did.
Yeah, I can't recall. So, not that I'm fat, I hope.
But I guess we're going on a little tangent. But in Genesis 2, obviously the creation of Adam and Eve. And just obviously, Adam being created first. And God was like, yo, my boy, you're really lonely. What you're doing here is great, but I'm gonna help you with some of this stuff that you got going on around here. So he made Eve through Adam's rib, and which was the first sight of marriage, basically, one flesh.
Yeah.
Which is the first sight of marriage and having someone by your side and helping and just really having to do things with and tag along. And with that being said, you're the expert in marriage here.
Oh yes.
I'm not married, but he is. What's your take on specifically the creation of women from men and how they help / impact your?
I mean, I definitely think like that whole like woman to help man can be taken out of context. Definitely in today's like society, because like there's plenty of times that you go to a restaurant and the woman is dealing with the kids and the father's just kind of sitting there, and I feel like that's like not what God put into context, if that makes sense. It's kind of like, I mean, I've been married, this will be 4 years, and we have one 10-month-old boy, and I can't say that there's any regrets for marriage. I mean, it's great. It's definitely not easy, and I don't think God definitely didn't intend it to be easy. I mean, she threw him under the bus in the next couple verses.
Man, she did hardcore.
Like hardcore threw him under the bus. And he point blank threw her under the bus. So God didn't point blank. He point blank pretty much showed us that it's not going to be unicorns and rainbows to be married, but it's definitely worth every minute. I mean, just being able to have the spouse to, talk to when you had a bad day at work, or somebody that listens. And my wife is a phenomenal listener, and I'm not the greatest listener, but I mean, I definitely have areas that I need to improve, and I couldn't ask for a better mother to my child or anything like that. But I definitely think that the thought on the whole, first look at marriage is, it's honestly, it's a beautiful thing. Just Did you lose your notes or something?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay.
We're back now.
But I think it's definitely something it's gorgeous and beautiful, especially the way God depicted it in the first 2 chapters, and it's just amazing to see how man and woman was created. And like I said, I wouldn't take back any second of being married to my wife.
Right.
I guess that's my look on marriage. I mean, it's a great thing. Is the moral of the story, and I no regrets there. And God did a great way depicting it in Genesis.
Yeah. I think that's,
And you'll get there.
Yeah.
You're gonna get there.
Yeah. Heck yeah, dude.
We're gonna be at that wedding or in that wedding, and you're gonna be there.
I hope so, man. I hope so. But that's, I don't have any more takeaways of 1 and 2. But
So, Brandon, how does this impact the way you view and do your work being a business owner? And you can share a little bit about that. But how does that affect you, or how does that impact you in the way that you view and do your work in life, like your business side of work and God's work? I know
Yeah.
I just threw a big brick wall at you.
that was crazy. But yeah, I'm an entrepreneur. I own a turf distribution business here in Tucson, Arizona. And
Man, that just makes me sound like petty.
no. But when, dealing with other people or dealing with, I guess, other human life, just kind of reflecting on, like, who made them and the image of, image of God, in the image of God. And kind of, I catch myself all the time, and because sometimes you just kind of get in the rhythm of, daily life, and, judgment kind of starts creeping in for sure. And you kind of lose sight of, even though everyone has flaws, and everyone has strengths and weaknesses for sure, and just
100%.
and just realizing that, like, being gracious with them, and not, like, losing your cool, or saying, even though it's not maybe like yelling at them, or whatever, doing things in the image of God, doing things that, if someone that was, like, looking for Jesus or whatever, and you were a proclaimed Christian, and you were doing these things, would they look towards you for guidance, or would they be like, oh, are they all like this?
Oh, it's that guy.
Right. So just always keeping, always like a close eye on yourself of what you do in your daily life, and how you carry yourself, because the way you carry yourself can make or break people, not spiritually or anything, but just like them. You walk in, you have a smile on your face, and you have donuts or whatever, the day's just better.
Dog, I'm gonna smile if you have donuts in your
The
hand.
day's just better.
It's already 110% better.
Right. Or if you walk in and you just go straight to your office and you close the door, and it just sets the vibe off different.
Man, you just like explain my whole every morning.
So it's not directly, kind of talking about 1 and 2, but just human life, or what he created in general, of everything that we deal with, everything that we touch, smell, see, that he created. So doing it with the best of our abilities, and doing, business, or doing, your job to the best of your ability, and not, trying to slack off all the time, or trying to do mediocre things just to, get the job done, or get that, sign off by, your higher up or whatever. Just doing it to the best of your ability to get that job done, to, not maybe make yourself look better, but make that company, or make your boss look better, in return that he'll thank you for that. It's like God, like doing things that make him look good, because
Well, I mean, and you got to think about everything you do, you have to do it for God.
right.
I mean, the Bible tells us in Colossians in like 3:23 that whatever we do, we have to work at it for the
Right,
Lord,
whether you eat,
not
drink,
for human masters.
Right.
And it's like that's a really big thing to focus on, because like not being a great entrepreneur like myself, and being the right hand man of a business owner, it's like sometimes it's kind of hard because your boss wants you to do something, but it's not correct, and it's like, but you're trying to do everything for the Lord. So it's like if you follow through with that, and this is something that I have a hard time with, if you follow through with that, you aren't doing your best ability for the Lord. You're doing your best ability for something that is really, it matters, but in the end, it really doesn't matter, if that makes sense.
Right.
And I think that's where that whole concept of, like you said, try to do your best ability. You just have to make sure you're trying to do your best ability, but you're also trying to do it the best of ability for God too.
Right. To give glory to God. So,
Yeah.
because either you can push someone towards Jesus, or you can push them away really easy. Obviously, we all slip up at times. We're all sinners and stuff. So it's nothing to beat yourself up about.
We ain't no saint.
Yeah, nothing to like beat yourself up about, but don't make it a habit for sure. Don't, make it a habit to close the door, do nothing. Always saying that your workers or whatever aren't doing good enough. Whatever.
Whoa. Why'd you point at me when you said that?
I didn't. And just not giving praise to where it needs to be, because at the end of the day,
But there's definitely stupidity out there. It's a side tangent. You can give praise where it's needed, but sometimes that praise just makes them boast even more, and it's just kind of like, you know what I mean?
right?
I guess you don't feel the pain.
I don't, but it's something you just have to, turn the other cheek and just move on with that, because you can't control what they do, or only God can. So either he'll,
And no matter how hard we try,
Yeah.
you can't change it.
no, you'll get revenge via God for sure. But yeah, off to question number 2.
Yeah, so question 2 says, many of the characters you read about this week had a difficult time trusting God. Is there something in your life you're having a difficult time trusting God with? And it wants us to write down why you're having such a difficulty trusting God with that. And I mean, we can go through, if you want, we can break it down a little bit. So like chapters 1 and 2 was Adam and Eve. And obviously Eve had a hard time trusting God because Satan pretty much deceived her.
The
Was
serpent was
like,
like,
hey,
"Yo, eat that son."
you won't die. And God's like, you're going to die. And
Right.
Satan's like, you won't die.
Yeah.
Right there just shows Eve just flat out didn't trust her.
Right.
I mean, she didn't trust him at all.
Yeah. And then right after that, Cain and Abel.
Oh, let's talk about the brothers. Jealousy, man. There's a book of jealousy right there.
Heck yeah.
I mean, that's like me stoning you. I just want to put that out there.
Yeah. How did he kill him?
Not that we're blood brothers, but he's pretty close to a brother of mine.
How did he kill him again? He just whacked him to death, right?
He stoned him. I'm pretty positive he stoned him.
Did he stone him?
Um,
I don't know. We'll figure that out while we're chit chatting. It'd be in chapter 4. But yeah, Cain and Abel, fruit of deceit was eaten. Cain and Abel, and then friggin'
who was it after that?
who was it? Well, after that was
Jump
Adam to Noah, the genealogy.
Yeah, I gave you the whole...
That was a chapter. That was a crazy chapter.
Adam's descendants to Noah. That is a lot of people, and we're not going to name them all because I can't pronounce 3/4 of them correctly.
Yeah, that was that was crazy. And then,
We get into Noah.
well, yeah, you get into Noah.
Right? Is that would be the next one? Noah. And the flood. God's like, hey, build a boat. And Noah's like,
Really.
it hasn't rained here for a long time. And God's like, build a boat.
Yeah, God was sick and tired of people.
God was kind of like...
People were becoming
Flat out just evil.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not a better way to
It
put it.
was corrupt.
Corruption and evilness was just taking over.
Yeah.
God just like, watch this. Flooded.
Flooded.
I mean, the whole crazy thing about Noah is nobody believed him,
Right.
which I'm sure got in his head. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
if I told you, Brandon, hey, you can get bit by a snake if you walk back there and you walk back there and get bit by a snake, probably should have believed me. you know?
Right.
But Noah, that was a hard task. I mean, there's no power tools back then, first of all. Firstly, it comes to my brain, being in the contractor world, it's just like, home dog, you did what with that, what?
Yeah. It was long, too. It was huge.
It was huge. I mean, did it say how big it was?
It was some in cubits.
Yeah, it was in cubits. It was a huge boat.
Yeah.
I don't even know if you can ship.
It was a ship.
That don't count as a boat.
It was a Viking ship, dude.
That was yeah,
And it was like
exactly.
3 stories. It was crazy.
And then he's like, and then got through that curveball, and he's like, male and female of every animal and living creature. Say what? Like,
And then multiple of them, too.
yeah. So, oh, and by the way, birds, 3/4 of them are annoying, and I couldn't imagine being on a ship that long with birds.
Yeah.
Just gonna throw that out there.
But talking about trusting God, dude, that was the first greatest feat of trusting God in building a whole ship.
I mean, that's loyal.
That's crazy.
I mean, that's just like, okay, how about a boat? After God had to convince him to build a boat, but that is insane.
Yeah. But without kind of hitting every single chapter, kind of just skim through all these. But trusting God is a relevant theme in the whole Bible.
I mean, yeah.
Not just these, 23 chapters that we read,
Yes,
but
23.
just the whole Bible, without going too broad and stuff and vague. That anything you read in the Bible is about faith, trusting God, in whatever you're doing with your life. So back to Abraham sacrificing his son because God said to, and then as soon as
Walked all the way up that mountain.
Adam was like getting the friggin' flint and stone, an angel was like, whoa, wait, I see that you're loyal now. Calm down, don't be doing that anymore.
Don't kill your son.
And then he turned around in a I think an ox was stuck in a fence, and they burned that
Yeah,
for the burnt offering.
correct.
And just like kings and rulers and stuff, just trying to fight over anything that they can fight over, land, people, territories, anything they could fight over, they did.
Yes.
So just trusting the Lord, because everyone's gonna want everything.
I mean, and everybody has some kind of trust issue. Let me reword that. Everybody has something that they don't fully trust that God has their back on.
Right.
Everybody.
Right.
I mean, I'll throw it out there. Finances, I stress about finances all the time.
Right.
And it's not even that I'm looking to be rich. I just want to be, like, comfortable. Where I don't have to worry about, this and that.
Yeah.
So, that's mine. What's yours?
Worrying, I would say, not worrying. In the matters of, trust in the Lord, I would say, just like, man, I don't know. Just like with my time, I guess I would say, because I would say I'm like a fairly busy person. It's under my own volition though.
A busy person. There's no fairly. You're a busy person.
I leave home at 6 and I don't usually get home till 6 to 9. Like tonight, I probably get home.
It's
till
that
9.
gym work.
Yeah, I go work and go to the gym, slow me time, and then go home, and then after all of them exhausted,
You come to my house.
Yeah. And then it's just like pulling freaking teeth to read my Bible or have quiet time and stuff because I just want to go to bed.
It's
like,
hard because you're tired.
It's like 8:30 and you just want to go to bed or not even go to bed, just like not think.
You don't want to do anything. You just want to sit in like the couch or your room.
You just want to rot.
And just watch TV and just not think about anything.
You just want to rot.
You want to think about Gordon Ramsay shutting Kitchens down. That's my new thing. I'm not even going to lie to you. That's it, dog. Like, but it's kind of like one of those things too. I like my day, I go to work, I get up at 5 and leave the house at 5:10, 5:15. Yeah, I can get dressed pretty quick. And brushing my hair, that's just hat work,
Right.
And but working like anywhere from 5:30, 6 to, I don't know, I've worked till 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night before. Not common, but I have done it. But then it's like on a normal day, I'm typically getting off at least an hour or two late, so 3:34. And then I get home, and my second job starts, and I do side jobs, because if I don't have time. And then after the side jobs, I have animals that need fed, and I've helped my wife with her business. And riding lessons, hit us up. And then I have a horse that needs to be trained. And then once all that's over, come like 6:30, I go to my third job, and that's just being a good father and a good dad and
Amen.
a good husband. But like you said, by the time you get to that point, or when you get home finally,
Man.
you're just wiped, dog. Like the old puppies are hurting. You hit that lazy boy recliner. I know you aren't to that dad bod stage, but you hit that lazy boy, man. You're just done for. Like, it's game over.
Yeah,
And then it is hard. This week was hard. We started this Bible study last week, and it was hard just to be like, yeah, I'm gonna pick up my Bible and read. Especially Genesis, because that is a long, slow book, and we're still in it for a long time.
Yeah, I know that they're like two or 3 weeks more. Or 2 weeks more.
It is hard, and it's definitely hard to just be able to set that time aside, especially after a long day of work. But we have to do it for the Lord.
Right.
Luckily, I don't have the luxury of some people to sit in an office and listen to a Bible all day.
I don't do that.
I said somebody. I did not name names.
Okay. And then you're like laying in your couch or your lazy boy recliner.
Yo, lazy boy.
3000 platinum. And you get
Super Plush 200.
then you get the amazing thought. You're like, wow, okay, I'm gonna wake up in the morning and read my Bible in the morning because I'm just gonna get over with and not get it done in the morning. I don't have to worry about the rest of the day. And then you wake up and you're like, nope, I'm not doing that. It is too early in the morning to be doing that. And then you're right back at where you started.
And I'm really bad. Hey, if this was an AA meeting, my name is Justin, and I'm a workaholic. I do not know when to stop. I do not know what that seventh day is. Sunday afternoon, I'm cranking on a project usually after church. Like, I'm a workaholic. So it's really bad, too, because it's like the other morning, and we'll side change it a little bit before we get into the next section here. And it's kind of like the other morning, I got up and was like, I'm going to read my Bible, and I'm going to get this Genesis, I think it was 12 through 15. I was like, I'm going to get 12 through 15 read.
On Sunday?
No, during the week, I got up early.
Oh.
And it was kind of like, all of a sudden, I was like, emails! That's bad! And then it's like, oh, crap. It's 5:30, and now I'm going to be late to get to the office to get my guys out. So then you're doing, I'm not going to say how fast of a speed down the freeway, to get to work, and you're late. And then you're like, well, maybe if I would have just read my Bible, I wouldn't have gotten a tangent of emails. You know what I mean?
Right.
Anyways, side note. I do that a lot. Squirrel. But you're laughing, so it must be good.
Yeah.
So I guess the answer to the question is, my difficulty is being able to trust that God will provide. I know He'll provide in my heart, but in my mind tells me other things, which really messes with me. And that's my problem. So.
And time.
And why I have a difficulty trusting, I honestly have been praying about it, and I don't know. it's mind over matter, I guess. I just can't shut my mind off. I'm a constant thinker. So it's just something I have to work on with God.
Yeah, and I've recently kind of been doing more, what does he call it? Unconventional, like prayer, and not trying to be super proper and just be like, yo, Lord, like, dude, this, whatever, like, just like some things of like, yo, work like sucked super bad, and not just like praying about certain things that you normally like a routine prayer of like, thank you, Lord, thank you, for beautiful wife and my kid, and pray that they are,
Man, when did this happen?
that they are like healthy, and that you're able to provide for them, but just being like super open and just being like, yo, work sucked today, Joe was slacking off at work today.
Man, whoa, I feel like I'm getting targeted here.
He wasn't getting his emails done, and he's behind.
Joe, if you watch this, we love you.
And he, just wasn't great today, and he was making my job a little harder. And I pray that whatever's happened at home or whatever's happened in his personal life, that you work with him, and just praying those like those super, I guess, deep prayers of just saying things that are just that day or that you're thinking about, instead of doing your routine prayer. So I've been doing that more, and just obviously finding time to pray because I've kind of gone this loop of thinking prayer is only when you're
Just like Jelly Roll says, only when you need something. But it is not, and it's crucial to life.
But just like when you are like sitting down or before a meal, but you can pray like any time of like when you're driving, and you can just pray to the Lord, or when you're on the forklift driving around, and or at any time you can pray, not when you're at home in your lazy boy, with your wife and kids
Snoring.
doing the normal pray that you would normally do.
I was doing install pondering. That's my new thing. Yes, Jeremy, my assistant, install pondering.
Install pondering.
Or as Jeremy likes to say, install, or what does he say? Install meditation or something like that. I'm always the one that's like, oh yeah, I wasn't sleeping. I was counting install jobs.
Are you sleeping on the job?
No, definitely not. Mike Addis, not sleeping on the job. I mean, Mike, I don't know his name. I mean, crap. I love my boss. He's a great guy.
But yeah, trusting God with everything, your whole heart, and yeah, I would. What I'm answering this question, but like why I have a hard time trusting God is just because, like, I like to be in control, and I like to do things my way, and if I don't know what's happening next, I like kind of freak out.
So you're a man with a plan.
Yeah, I'm more of a destination than the journey. I like the destination rather than the journey. I would rather, if I have to drive from here to New York, I would rather just go straight there than stop at like beautiful places.
Yeah, just get to your destination.
And just get
like a get it done attitude.
Yeah, I don't want to stop at the at some stupid like
archway
or what, or like whatever. I don't
yarn ball thing.
I don't
want
to. Yeah, I don't want to see mountains. I just want to get to New York,
and you can deal with traffic.
Yes,
and cab drivers.
So I've been dealing with working with that
and Spider-Man. Don't go on a tangent. We gotta get back on. Sorry.
And so yeah, I would rather just drive there and do things while I'm there than take extra time and do things while I'm going. So it's definitely a journey, because you can't do that with your faith. You can't just be like, all right, faith, and then the end is death.
Yeah.
And you can't speed run death. You can, but you can't speed run death.
But you can speed run life.
But you can speed run life, kind of, and so back to what I was saying is trusting Him with just everything. And doing things along the way that make it that much better, to where you can be like, dude, I drove to freaking New York. I saw this. I stopped at this really cool lunch place. I got this bussin' like chili mac. It was amazing. And just having those stories along the way, because when we're 21 and 22, that when you are 70, 80, you can have these experiences and these stories to tell your grandkids or other people, or just as you're growing in your faith, to tell other new believers.
Oh, you don't want the story about like, I just drove straight to New York, didn't look at anything cool.
Right. Yeah. I just I kind of got saved and read my Bible, and I'm here now. Like I didn't go. I don't even know what really you do at summer camp.
And it's crazy how much it changes when you get married to a spouse. We'll throw that out there. Back to the marriage conversation, because it's like I used to have more of like I have to have a timeline for everything. I mean, I was raised in a house that if you're not 10 minutes early, you are 5 minutes late.
Man, that was probably crazy for you.
And it was crazy because I married a woman that is beautiful and lovely and great, but she could care less if she's late. And it's kind of funny because we've kind of like swapped roles slightly. So now she's kind of like, sometimes she's like, we get there when we get there. Or kind of like, oh, we got to get going. Your family's waiting on us. But now I'm more like, we get there when we get there. But it's kind of like, it's crazy how your role swap when you get that spouse, that person that helps you, like 1 and 2 was talking about, because it's kind of like the roles switch. I shouldn't even say the role switch. You just change. It changes. So you might find Mrs. Right and have to change, Brandon.
Mrs. Right.
Doesn't that sound good?
That sounds really good.
I just came up with that. But anyways, getting into question 3, there's one more question left, and then we can read day 1 of the next section for you guys, and then we'll probably end up wrapping it up there. I think we're coming up close to time.
Yeah.
The third question says, Abraham was called by God to be a blessing, and in parentheses it says, bringing God's presence and peace, and then to the entire world. What specific ways are you a blessing to those God has placed around you?
Man.
Now that is a loaded question.
That's crazy. How
about we do this? How about we do this?
We do with each other?
Yes. So like Brandon is a blessing to us, probably because
I eat all the muffins.
Here we go. 9 times out of 10, not even 10 times out of 10, Brandon has a good attitude about everything. And that's really a blessing, because it's kind of like you said, like when you come in around people and you have like a cheerful attitude, people around you change. Like I could be having the worst day and you would still be able to get me to laugh or smile. Like there's no doubt about it. Like your goofiness, I think, is definitely a blessing, because it's kind of like, there's been times that I've called you where I've just been having a crap day, and after I'm done talking to you, I got off the phone, it's like, man, I feel better.
Yeah, Justin likes to call me every day when he's driving home from work, and he gets off like at least an hour before I do. Actually, probably 2 hours before I do. And I'm just sitting in my office and just talking to him, walking around.
I mean, it helps though too, because it's like some of the stuff you like explain to your spouse. But that's why we started a men's group too. Is it's like your spouse. And it's not to sound sexist, but like a woman doesn't understand a man's perspective on everything. Like they can listen all they want, and they can say they know what I'm talking about fully, but it's kind of like, it's nice to have a guy see a man's perspective.
For sure.
And it's just nice having you there to be kind of like that guy that can kind of like pick me up on a bad day, or be willing to listen, or give suggestions, or even though if the suggestions kind of suck, but give suggestions, or,
All right.
whatever is needed. It's just kind of nice to have that male, almost accountability partner. Yeah, I'm not going to keep going off on my tangent, but I think that's what the moral of the story is. Brandon's a blessing because of, your good attitude, and you can always turn things around normally, for at least me.
Turn that frown upside down.
And even around others, and on some of our other friends that will hopefully be on the podcast at some point. It's just nice to have that brotherly figure to kind of pick you up on your bad day. So you are a blessing to people around us, because you always have a positive attitude, and that definitely changes people in a good way.
Dang, I appreciate that. But I say,
I'm like Moses. You can just put it that way. I was just kidding. I'm not,
Right.
I was just,
I
I didn't break the tablet.
part of the tablet. I'd say Justin's one of the most admirable qualities is, even though it's to his demise sometimes, is his work ethic. That he works crazy hard at work, even though it's not his company or it's just he guy that he worked for, and he's been working for 6 years.
Yeah, this will be 6.
6 years. So, I mean, he calls his boss a friend and stuff, but at the end of the day, he works his tail off, and the work ethic is actually really crazy, because what he said, like he said, he works from 6 to, sometimes super super late. But I had to tell him to get off on time, because it would be every day that he'd get off at 5 o'clock. But that he likes the overtime, so can't blame him for that. But just telling him to you should probably get off work on time and spend time with his kids.
Especially on
Or kid.
Bible study nights. Brandon's like,
Yeah, dude, I am.
you
gotta be there. Anyways, back to Justin. Work ethic and just like the crazy mental hustle that for everything, not just like work, but like everything, and the drive to almost do any idea I throw at him that I'm thinking up or whatever, like this Bible study. I mean, we've been doing this Bible study for
2 months.
2 months, maybe over. 2
Not
months.
this book, but
No.
just meeting.
We've been meeting for about 2 months, and it's basically just been us for those two-ish months, maybe a little more.
Yeah, we have another buddy that
Yeah.
has been here a couple times, and then another one that joined us one time.
But basically just my right-hand man, and we just do life together, even though he has a wife and kids and whatever. But yeah, so we basically just kind of hang out all day and do that. But yeah, that's kind of the story.
We'll get into some of the stories later.
The story of us.
We'll definitely have to get into the story of how everything started.
It's like a love story.
It is like a love story, but it involves a lot of gasoline. I caught on fire. You ended up at the hospital, and we did some really stupid stuff. But we'll get into that at a different time when we want to have some fun with just a normal podcast. But man, you're gonna make me cry. I'm not prepared for this. There's no tissues in this shop.
But yeah, it's a blessing having Justin in my life, and just living life to the fullest.
Oh, love you too, boo.
Love you too.
Love you, wifey. If you're watching this.
But yeah, I think it's about time to wrap this section up.
Yeah.
Of 1 out of 52.
Oh, there's a lot of chapters in Genesis.
Or 52 weeks as well. We have 51 weeks more, and I'm excited to see. Oh, jeez. I'm excited to see, where this Bible study takes, and how we can spread the word, through this podcast and through everything else. And we won't always have a Bible study podcast. We will have some other podcasts as well as time goes on, just other stuff, fun ones. And yeah, we'll just kind of hang out, chill, talk, love the Lord. And yeah, I'm gonna pray us out.
Oh, you're gonna pray yourself out?
I'm gonna pray myself out.
Guess I'll go over here in my corner and pray myself out.
We'll pray together out, and we'll exit.
All right.
Dear Lord, thank you for this amazing time that you've given us, and Lord, I pray that we can use this time to just glorify you to its full advantage, to just spread your word, Lord, and your love to everyone that's watching, and to each other, Lord, that we can just use this Bible study and gather more information about you, more knowledge about you, and just that we can love you more and cherish you more through through hard times, or even through good times, that we can always remember you, Lord and Savior. So I pray for that, Lord. I just pray for the rest of this week, Lord, that we're all safe and healthy, and always look up to you for any guidance that we need throughout the week. But we just love you, we praise you, and we cherish you, Lord. Amen.
Amen.